2022 has already delivered some amazing JRPGs, but if you can believe it, we have 25 more coming our way looking to empty our wallets. Now we've got a lot to get into this video, so let's just dive in with the first game. The latest entry in the long-running Disgaea series, Disgaea 6, makes its way to PC and PlayStation this summer. Now, a lot of people were kind of upset that they made it a Switch exclusive here in the West, and there's a lot of good upgrades to look forward to here in this complete edition. Of course, there will be higher resolution, better performance, and also all previous DLC as well as some new DLC character colors will be included in this complete edition. So if you missed it before or were just waiting for this PlayStation and PC version, now's the time to hop on. A remake to the Super Nintendo classic Live Alive is making its way to Nintendo Switch this summer. Now what's really cool is this is the first time the West has ever gotten it. We've never got this game before. Not only are we getting this game, but it's got those crisp HD 2D visual style from Triangle Strategy and Octopath Traveler. Now this game plays a lot like some Saga games in that there are one of 8 different characters to choose from that all take place in different eras. Now what's really cool about Live Alive is that each character has different gameplay mechanics that are specific to that character's era, like stealth, non-traditional combat, and much more. Personally, I think this game looks incredible, and it's a game that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to Switch this summer. For those of you looking to get your strategy RPG fix, Vestaria Saga II comes to PC this summer. It's a sequel to the indie strategy RPG of the same series, and it will be bringing this story to an end. Now, one look at this game and you can tell that it's definitely inspired by classic Fire Emblem games, not only with the way it has the grid-based strategic combat, but also the way it does the battle animations and it has that screen that pops up. The game boasts over 30 recruitable characters and different branching storylines. If you like strategy RPGs or classic Fire Emblem, you probably want to check this one out. One of the more surprising JRPG announcements of the year was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now this continues Nintendo's RPG franchise with a brand new cast of characters and huge world to explore. Now it continues a lot of the series traditions like a giant open world and unique MMO style combat. However, some of the new features include characters that can kind of pair up together to form Ouroboros, these powerful mech-like beings. And Nintendo has teased that this does tie into the rest of the franchise, so I'll be really curious to see just how much it does tie into the rest of the franchise when it comes exclusively to Nintendo Switch this July. Fallen Legion Rise to Glory and Fallen Legion Revenants come together in one package this August. Now this is a really unique side view strategy RPG that has some really cool combat and an engrossing story. Now for this collection, it won't just be the games together, but it will include new playable characters for those that have already played the games and want something new. And the Remnants game comes with a Crimson Rose update, which includes faster combat and rebalanced gameplay. Whether you're wanting to revisit these games or dive in for the first time, this might be the perfect way to do it. One new announcement this year that was a pleasant surprise is Soul Hackers 2. Now this game is dropping the SMT moniker, and for the first time it will be coming to an Xbox console. Now in the game you play as Ringo, an agent who was created to stop the world from an apocalyptic event. Now the backdrop for this adventure will be the glitzy cyberpunk Japan. It's soaked in neon lights, lots of bright colors, and honestly the art style just looks awesome. Throughout the game, you'll be exploring the city, investigating all these different mysteries, and deepening the bonds with your characters. And it also looks to have a slick turn-based combat system, similar to what you might find in the Persona series with summoning demons and using your weapons. To me, this game looks absolutely incredible, probably my most anticipated JRPG for the rest of the year, and I can't wait to play it. Pucelle Ragnarok is a strategy RPG that's never been released in the West before, and it will be included in the NIS Classics Volume 3. Now in the game you play as Prier and Culotte, hunting down demons and zombies. Now this remaster boasts tons of updates including new characters, new scenarios, and other quality of life updates. Fans of strategy RPGs like Disgaea will definitely want to check this one out when it releases this August. Now the other game included in the NIS Classics Volume 3 is Rhapsody, a musical adventure. Now this is a classic PS1 title where you play as a princess. Now admittedly, it is a little easy and a little bit simple, but it's full of charm. In the game you play as Cornet and she's trying to save the Prince Ferdinand. Now it was originally aimed at younger girls and they tried to make it a little bit easy, but honestly I really enjoyed the RPG battle mechanics back on the PS1. And while the dungeons are kind of simple, the game overall is pretty fun. Now this remastered edition will have some enhanced visuals, so if you've never played this game before, this is going to be the perfect way to play it. The Square Enix strategy RPG Front Mission First Remake will be making its way to Nintendo Switch this summer. Now, in the strategy RPG, you command a group of mechs called Wanzers in this game. Now, this was a Japan-only game for over a decade until it was released on the DS in 2007 here in the West. This remake boasts enhanced visuals and some refined gameplay. Other than that, we don't know much about it, and there still isn't a specific release date. And also, sadly, this is only on Nintendo Switch, but it looks great nonetheless, and I can't wait to give it a try. Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten sure is a mouthful, but it looks pretty great. Now, this turn-based JRPG will be commemorating 20 years of the Utawari Ramono franchise, and they've been everything from strategy RPGs, visual novels, and even Musou-style games. Now, in the game you play as Ashtor on a mission to investigate the strange death of his father. Monochrome Mobius has a pretty dazzling art style and a really cool dynamic-looking turn-based combat system. Frankly, this game came out of nowhere for me, and I'm kind of surprised more people aren't talking about it, so I'll be curious to see what it's all about when it releases on PC this September. After being exclusive to the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 for nearly 5 years, Persona 5 Royal finally makes its way to PC and Xbox. Widely regarded as one of the best JRPGs of the last decade, in Persona 5 you play as Joker, leader of the Phantom Thieves. You and your team look to right the wrongs of society. Now, this game boasts a slick, stylish art style and fun, fluid combat with an engrossing story. If you're watching this video, you've probably played Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal already, but I think the PC version will be worth it for the mods alone. Now, there are rumors of a Switch release, so keep an eye out for that, but for now it'll be coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox this October. The latest mainline entries in the Pokémon franchise, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, make their way to Switch this November. In the game, there's a brand new, huge open world that takes a lot of elements from Legends Arceus, while still retaining a lot of the classic elements as well. Of course, as with every new game, you'll have a brand new trio of starters: the Grass Cat Sprigatito, the Fire Dinosaur Fuecoco, and the Water Duck Quaxley. And of course, there's a new pair of legendaries, Koraidon and Miraidon, these kind of giant snake lizard looking things. And what's interesting is they seem to be changing up the art style. Instead of having that typical anime art style that's matched, well, the anime, it'll be something kind of new, and honestly, so far I'm not quite sure what I think of it yet. Hopefully Game Freak has learned a lot of valuable lessons from Arceus. It was a pretty good game, but hopefully they can take some lessons learned from that one and make Scarlet and Violet even better. One of the best action JRPGs of the last generation, Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, is making its way to PlayStation 5. In the game you play as Adel, trying to survive a shipwreck on the island of Seirin and uncover the mysteries of the blue-haired maiden Dana. This game has intense action combat and great music. It's just so fun to play, and as I said in my favorite Switch JRPGs, it is one of the best pick-up-and-play JRPGs out there. And on PlayStation 5, it'll run and look even better at 4K 60 frames per second. So whether you've never played it before or want to dive in again, this one should be pretty exciting. Chained Echoes is a gorgeous looking classic JRPG that you need to keep your eye on. Immediately, that pixel art style grabs your attention and does not let go. On top of that, it's got a fast-paced turn-based combat system where you can fight as characters, but also in large mechs. Now on their website, they boast having lots of secrets and exploring like classic JRPGs, as well as one of my favorite things, tons of mini-games. To me, Chained Echoes looks absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to play it this whatever month that is. Easily the most beloved game of the Final Fantasy VII Anthology, Crisis Core finally gets the remake/remaster treatment it's deserved. In the game, you play as Zack, one of the most important characters in all of Final Fantasy VII, and follow his journey through Soldier and meeting Cloud. Now, the game is an action RPG, and you'll make your way through familiar Final Fantasy VII locales like Midgar, Costa del Sol, Junon, and much more. Now, the visuals have been greatly enhanced. This is somewhere in between a remaster and a remake, because it's definitely not using the same character models and environments from the original game. It seems to be more remade. I know so many fans have been wanting this for a long time, and I know we're all going to be excited to play it this winter. The PS2 RPG Romancing Saga Minstrel Song is making its way to the West for the first time in this remastered form. The game is renowned for its unique combat system where you can learn new moves in the heat of battle, which is pretty cool. It also boasts a free-form scenario system, allowing you to experience a story in a ton of different ways depending on how you play. Now, this remaster will include enhanced visuals and refined gameplay. Frankly, the art style isn't too appealing, but the HD facelift does help a little bit. Whether you love turn-based combat, classic JRPGs, or just want to visit a title we've never got before, you can play this on pretty much every system this winter. Set in the world of Class of Heroes, Adventure Academia: The Fractured Continent is a brand new strategy RPG coming to PC. Now, the gameplay itself doesn't look anything special, but it does have this super charming Paper Mario-esque art style that I just love. Now, it seems like you'll be able to create and recruit different characters through a number of different races and a bunch of different character traits to build a super unique party of characters. Like I said, it does look a little bit on the budget side, but it could be neat, so I'll be curious to give this a look when it releases later this year. One of the strangest announcements on this list is the DioField Chronicle. This is a real-time strategy RPG where you'll be coordinating your different team members in real time in combat. Now, I will say it has a pretty cool art style. The backgrounds look really great, the character portraits look fantastic, but the character models themselves look a little iffy. Now, while the gameplay does look good, it is being developed by Landcars, who developed the middling Monarch and Lost Dimension, so I'm not sure how to feel about that. Hopefully with the guidance of Square Enix, it could turn into something special, but we'll have to wait and see on this one and see how it turns out. One of the coolest looking games on this list that I'm super excited to share with you is Jack Move. In the game, you play as Noah on a journey to rescue her father from the mega corporation Monomind. To me, what stands out is the gorgeous pixel art style. Now, this game takes place in a cyberpunk-esque world, and the pixel art style really does it justice with the different lighting and the different particle effects and everything to put it all together. And the game has this super stylish turn-based combat system where it's on this really interesting grid-looking thing. I'm really excited to see more about that. There's always a couple games throughout the year that slip through the cracks, but I think this one could be a real hidden gem, so definitely keep Jack Move on your radar. Most licensed JRPGs end up being pretty disappointing, but Piece Odyssey does look promising thanks to its longer development time. Your ship crashes on a mysterious island full of wonder and danger, and you'll have to find a way to get off the island. Now, one thing that stands out is the gorgeous art style. To me, it's very reminiscent of Dragon Quest XI, with a lot of vibrant colors and that really distinct 3D art style. And in the trailers they've shown so far, it seems like this world is absolutely massive, with tons to explore, tons of turn-based combat to get into, and a number of puzzles that could be pretty interesting. We've had a lot of stinker One Piece RPGs over the years, but hopefully this is the one that we've all been hoping for, and I'll be curious to give it a look when it comes out later this year. If you love Vanillaware games, then you absolutely need to check out Sword of the Vagrant. One look at it and you can tell it's very heavily inspired by that art style, as well as Vanillaware games like Muramasa and Dragon's Crown. Sword of the Vagrant is a side-view action RPG where you'll be slashing through opponents, collecting gear, and getting new moves. Now, what I find really interesting about this game is that on its website, it said it was only $10, so either they're really underselling this game or it's really short, but either way, it looks super awesome and I can't wait to check it out. After a really long hiatus, Square Enix's Valkyrie series is back with Valkyrie Elysium. Elysium seems to be forgoing the classic strategic combat for a more action RPG approach in a fully 3D world. And honestly, I think it looks really fun. There seems to be a possible emphasis on exploration as well with this new grappling mechanic that they showed in the first trailer. Now, I will say the visuals don't look bad, but it doesn't look AAA either. It seems like it's a little bit budget, but it still looks pretty decent. Now, they haven't shown a lot or really shared a lot of information, but what they have shown so far looks pretty promising. I'm looking forward to hearing more, and hopefully it does hit its 2022 release window. What if you combine classic JRPGs, amazing pixel art, and pro wrestling? Well, then you'd have WrestleQuest. This game looks absolutely incredible, embracing the cheese and fully aware of just what it is. In the game, you'll be going through a pro wrestling career and partaking in turn-based combat. To me, this pixel art style looks absolutely incredible, with tons of great animation, tons of great colors, and it's just a joy to look at. Now again, this is another game that they haven't shown much so far, but honestly, when you look at this, what else do you need to know? It looks absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to play it. Now, if you missed my previous 2022 JRPG list, there are games that still have not come out that'll be on that list if you are expecting them in this video. So make sure you click that right here. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming JRPG videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.